Alright, so this one is for the 28th, A Piece of Nothing. There was once a dog who went to market to see what he could find. His nose went sniff, 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 and soon he had sniffed his way to a butcher's stall. The butcher was busy with customers. He did not see the dog lurking nearby. Then suddenly, sniff, 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 the greedy dog snatched a piece of meat off the slab. "Stop!" cried the butcher, but he was too late. The dog had run off down the road. The dog was very pleased with himself. He kept running until he came to a river. There was a little bridge over the water, and on the other side the dog could see a clump of bushes. "I'll hide under those bushes," he thought, "and eat my meal in peace." So the dog started across the bridge, pitter patter pad, but halfway across he happened to look down into the water. It was deep and dark and still, and staring back at him from the river there appeared to be another dog just like him, with a big piece of meat in its mouth. The greedy dog could hardly believe his eyes. "I'll have that meat too," he thought. The greedy dog opened his jaws and snapped it. Splash! He dropped his own meat in the river. It sank to the bottom of the muddy water and was gone. Now, instead of having two meats, he had none. A fish popped its head out of the water and laughed. "Serves you right for being so greedy," said the fish, and the dog had to agree. Aw. So the doggy lost his meat, and now he has no meat at all. So he has a piece of nothing because he tried to get another piece of meat, right? So this one is The Wreck of the Harpers. It was the schooner Harpers that sailed the wintry sea, and the skipper had taken his little daughter to bear him company. Blue were her eyes as the fairy flax, and her cheeks like a dawn of day, and her bosom white as the hawthorn buds that opt in the mouth of May. The skipper, he stood behind the helm, his pipe was in his mouth, and he watched how the veering flew did blow the smoke now west nor south. Then up and spark the old sailor had sailed the Spanish main. "I pray thee put into yonder port, for I fear a hurricane. Last night the moon had a golden ring, and tonight the moon we see." The skipper, he blew a whiff from his pipe, and a scornful laugh laughed he. Colder and louder blew the wind, the gale from the northeast, and the snow fell hissing in the brim, and the bellows forth like yeast. Down came the storm, and smut a mire the vessel in its strength. He shattered and pursed like a frightened steed, and leaped her cable length. Come hither, my little daughter, and do not tremble so, for I can weather the roughest gale, and ever wind did blow." He wrapped her warm in his seaman's coat against the struggling blast. He cut a rope from a broken spear, and bound her to the mast. "O father, I hear the church bells ring. O say, what may it be? 'Tis a fog bell on the wreck-bound coast, and the steered for an open sea. O father, I hear the sound of guns. O say, what may it be? Some ship in distance that cannot live in such an angry sea. O father, I see a gleaming light. O say, what may it be?" But the father answered never a word. A frozen corpse was he, lashed to the helm, all stiff and stark, with his face turned to the skies. A lantern gleamed through the gleaming snow on his fixed and glassy eyes. Then the maiden clasped her hands and prayed that saved she might be, and she thought of Christ, who stilled the waves on the lake of Galilee. And fast through the midnight dark of Dare, through the whistling sleet and snow, like the sleeting ghost, the vessel swept towards the reef of Norman's Woe. And ever the fightful gust between, the sound came from the land. It was the sound of the trumpeting surf on the rocks and the hard sea sand. The baconings were right beneath her bows. She drifted a weary wake, and the whooping bellows swept the crew like icicles from her deck. She struck where the white and fleecy waves looked soft and crumbling wool, but the cruel rocks, and gleamed her side like the horns of angry bulls. Her rattling shrieked and spaded in ice, and the mast went by the broad. Like a vessel of glass, she strove and sank. Ho, ho, the breakers roared. At daybreak, on the black sea beach, a fisherman stood aghast to see the form of a maiden fair, lashed close to a drifting mast. The salt sea was frozen to her breast, the salt tears in her eyes, and he saw her hair like a brown seaweed in the billows fall and rise. Such was the wreck of the Humpers in the midnight and the snow. Christ save us all from the death like this on the reed of Norman's Woe. On the reef of Norman's Row. Oh, baby, that was sad. Life is so precious and so short. You never know what might happen from day to day. You just have to pray and live the life that you want to live. Do what makes you feel successful, whether that's working outside the home or having children or doing whatever it is that you want to do. You have to, this life is so short, you don't get that much time. So you have to decide what it is that you like and what you want to do. And just do it. Let's do. Oh, say your playmate, come out and play with me. And bring your dollies three, climb up my apple tree. Shout down my rain barrel, slide down my cellar door. And we'll be jolly friends forevermore, more. It was a sunny day, she could not go out to play. She said with tearful eyes, my dolly's got the flu. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I ain't got no rain barrel, I ain't got no cellar door. But we'll be jolly friends forevermore, more. Karina, baby, I love you and I miss you, and I wish I was there with you in person today. Every day. Every single second of the day. I could check up on you and see how you are and play with you and make you food and take you places and do all kinds of fun things with you. I miss you and I love you, honey.